the forefront of biotechnological innovation, Biokuris pioneers the next generation of medical solutions dedicated to enhancing the lives of those suffering from chronic intestinal diseases such as irritable bowel syndrome, also known as IBS. Our proprietary innovation, chitin glucan, is a testament to this commitment. A high-purity biopolymer derived from the cell walls of Aspergillus niger, chitin glucan is set to transform the landscape of gastrointestinal disorders. But what exactly is chitin glucan? This non-animal, non-GMO biopolymer has a unique composition that makes it an ally in the fight against intestinal ailments. From reducing pain and bloating to improving stool consistency and decreasing inflammatory lesions, chitin glucan has shown remarkable potential in improving gut health. But how does it work? Our extensive research unveils that chitin glucan acts on multiple fronts. Microbiota community modification. It is known that dietary fiber is considered to be a beneficial nutrient for health because of its interaction with gut microbiota. Preclinical and clinical research have shown that chitin glucan significantly reverses intestinal dysbiosis that is associated with certain pathological conditions. Chitin glucan increases microbial diversity and also the number of butyrate-producing bacteria. Intestinal barrier strengthening. Intestinal permeability is a common characteristic of irritable bowel syndrome, where harmful substances enter the bloodstream and trigger an inflammatory response. We were able to demonstrate that our product induces the expression of gut barrier-related genes, resulting in the strengthening of the intestinal barrier through an increased mucus layer. Reduced adhesion of some pathogens. We also have generated preclinical data on Citrobacter, suggesting that chitin glucan may play a role in the adhesion of certain pathogens to the intestinal mucosa, allowing for their elimination in the luminal flora. Bile acid sequestration. The presence of bile acids in the intestine leads to inflammation, dysbiosis, and chronic diarrheal disorders. Through in silico molecular modeling, we have shown that chitin glucan actually has the ability to chelate not only bile acids, but also microbial and fungal pathogenic lipids. Inflammatory response modulation. The immunomodulatory properties of chitin glucan have also been confirmed under basal conditions and in inflammatory contexts of preclinical research through inhibition of the expression of pro-inflammatory cytokines and a strong induction of anti-inflammatory ones. Analgesic response modulation. Many gastrointestinal diseases present with inflammation, but also with cramps and pain, all impacting the quality of life of patients. Data indicates that the presence of chitin glucan increases the transcription of the genes encoding for the micro-opioid receptor and the cannabinoid receptor CB2. With its proven efficacy and safety, chitin glucan opens up a multitude of potential applications across various gastrointestinal disorders. Its versatility extends to combination treatments, whether paired with other active ingredients or serving as a standalone solution. To further understand the reach of chitin glucan's impact, especially for those battling IBS, let's hear from Professor Edouard Louis.
Hello, I'm Professor Edouard Louis, head of the Department of Gastroenterology here at the University Hospital CHU of Liège in Belgium.
What are the unmet needs regarding the symptomatic treatment in patients suffering from gut inflammation?
There are actually many unmet needs in those inflammatory bowel disease. We can say that over the last 20 years, the treatment has very much evolved towards more efficacious treatment and more numerous treatments. But despite the fact that we are more able today to control chronic inflammation in those diseases if we choose the right treatment at the right time, still the patients suffer a lot of symptoms, including abdominal pain, bloating, disturbance in the bowel movements, and also a general fatigue and alteration of the general physical condition.
How would a non-pharma product fit in the current treatment pathway?
If you treat the inflammation earlier and more deeply, I would say, probably that you will achieve a better healing and a better quality of the intestinal barrier. But that may not be enough, and in some patients you intervene too late to reach this kind of goal. So you then have to try to use other strategies, and these strategies have to be first tested in preclinical models to try to see whether they can improve the intestinal barrier and reinforce this intestinal barrier. The other aspect which is probably interesting to mention is that beside the restoring of the intestinal barrier, some product can also act on other aspects of this disease, which are actually the abnormal sensitivity and the abnormal motricity of the gut that is observed in irritable bowel syndrome, but also in many patients in remission with inflammatory bowel disease.
What is the current development status of chitin glucan?
I think that the products that have been tested in preclinical studies, like it is the case for chitin glucan, for example, they then have to be tested in clinical trials. These trials are currently ongoing in Belgium in the case of inflammatory bowel disease, but also irritable bowel syndrome. And chitin glucan is currently tested in this population in at least 2 trials currently, which are controlled trials comparing the drug to a placebo at some stage of the trial, to try to generate knowledge and evidence on the effect of this product actually on this disease.
Biokuris, enhancing the quality of life for individuals suffering from chronic intestinal disorders.